6 right now, some Georgia lawmakers are calling to quickly scrap the state's 19th century citizen arrest law, cited in one prosecutor's controversial justification for the killing of Ahmaud Arbery. The 25-year-old fatally shot 3 times while jogging in Brunswick back in February. His death also sparking national outrage. Francesca Amaker joining us live from her home with more on this story, plus the mixed reactions online.
That's right, Sheba. Democratic State Representative Carl Gilliard actually mentioned this on Friday at a press conference. Keep in mind, the citizens arrest law was established in 1863, and he called it extremely outdated. In fact, it was established during a time that was the Wild Wild West time. So this week, he plans to make sure that when the State House reconvenes this week, he wants to actually introduce this bill in there, and 2 Republicans have agreed to co-sponsor the bill. In fact, again, this comes after cell phone video surfaced showing Arbery being chased down and killed. Father and son Gregory and Travis McMichael and neighbor William Bryan all have been charged with the murder, and the first outside prosecutors assigned to the case concluded chasing Arbery was legal under the citizen arrest statute. Now, the Georgia law allows ordinary citizens to arrest suspected felons upon reasonable and probable grounds of suspicion. And of course, this is getting a lot of reaction on our Facebook page, guys. I know we're about to discuss it. I just want to say, keep in mind that the justice system was created in the 1700s. And so think about it. This is multiple laws need to be changed. In fact, we just saw last week where Kamala Harris and Cory Booker were trying to establish new ramifications for an anti-lynching bill. There are laws and bills that are out there that need to be updated, especially if it saves lives like Ahmaud Arbery.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Fran. This could be very dangerous for folks to try to make a citizen's arrest as just a plainclothes person. I mean, what kind of authority would a lot of people think that you even have? I mean, nothing wrong with just picking up the phone and calling the police if you suspect something, but this could be very, very dangerous. They need to scrap it altogether.
Yeah, when this first came out, when this entire story first broke, that was the first thing that I said. I was like, it's ridiculous to give a citizen that type of power, especially when you look at the police, like they have to go through training and they have to pass tests and whatnot. And now all of a sudden you're just going to give that to just a regular person who's walking around the neighborhood with a gun in his hand? No, never believed in this law in the first place. It needs to be completely stricken from the books.
And in the Ahmaud Arbery case, one of the men accused is a former law enforcement officer. And then we later learned just last week in that first court hearing that these men were out there chasing Ahmaud Arbery, and while they're chasing him, that's when they called 911. I'm definitely in agreement that some of these laws need to be changed. All right, gang, thank you so much.